Hello and welcome to a new episode of Airport CEO here on the channel. Now, if you have been following the series, you of course know that we are trying to recreate Geneva Airport as close as possible to reality, given that it is a game. There will be some compromises here and there. But if you saw last episode, you know that I announced that we would do an airport tour around, basically what we have constructed so far to see how far we've gotten, and basically also to give you a better understanding and overview of where the various things we have been constructing in previous episodes actually are placed in correlation to each other. And we will also be doing a little bit of plane spotting, see if we have some time left for that as well, to see some of the aircraft that are coming in to our airport at the moment. Well, let's just start with a basic overview. Obviously we have some maintenance areas here to the west, just like in real life. So we have already built the land side of Terminal 1, the rather unknown Terminal 1 of Geneva Airport. We have also put down the foundation for that, but we haven't really worked any further on that part of the airport, so that's still to come. In the north of the airport, we have the general aviation areas, which I think we pretty much have done everything with that we want to. We have the runway for that as well, just like in real life. And then of course we have the main runway. Just underneath that we then have the 3 satellite terminals, which are pretty much constructed. I mean, they could basically be in use already, but just to not overload the airport at the moment where we're still trying out things, we haven't done that so far. So we of course have one satellite terminal here without jet bridges, just as in real life, which is connected with a separate tunnel to the main terminal building. The 2 other satellite terminals, which are international zones, so this is where we have non-Schengen traffic coming in, are then again, they are connected via one tunnel, which is then separating over here so that both tunnels are connected, or both satellite terminals are connected up. And of course we have then the system that all our inbound passengers, all passengers coming into the airport, are ending up down in this tunnel system, so that they all meet up at this area here, where they then can reach the baggage reclaim area, which we are still I mean, we have basically put everything down for that, but we haven't used it yet. That's something we will be doing in the next episode for sure, so that we can start offering luggage services to our passengers and airlines. Let's go one level up, which is the arrival hall. So passengers, of course, outside here at the land side have the parking opportunities, buses, taxis, and short and long-term parking. We have built this basically also underground, just like in real life as well, all the way down here to level -2. And then passengers that are coming in here at ground floor level come into these small buildings here, where they then have the elevators and escalators, which will bring them one level up, which is where we have our departure hall with the check-in areas. From check-in, they can then again go one level up, so they go up down here, up the escalators again. As you can see, quite a few passengers are doing right now. And from here, they then arrive to this area where we have our security checks. At the moment, only 2 are activated. We should perhaps open up a few more, but well, you know, let's just do that. We have a few aircraft coming in at the moment, so why not alleviate that? And basically, yeah, from here they are then passing through security to then immediately go one level down again. So right here, and when they're coming down here, they arrive here at this area where we have the gates. These are the A gates, as in real life as well, 1 to 9, and yeah, this is pretty much done. I mean, there are maybe a few minor things we need to adjust here and there, but the majority of this part of the terminal is actually finished. Then the clue is, of course, when passengers arrive here, they don't mingle with the passengers that are leaving the airport, but they are immediately brought one level up. In real life, they would go one level down, but obviously we don't have space there, so we have to guide them one level up. So when passengers arrive, they take the elevator or escalator here one level up. And here we have this entire section that's basically all these escalators. This is where passengers are coming from the different gates. And they can then go down one level at each end of the terminal building. So for example here we have an escalator that brings them one level down, and then again passing the next escalator and one level down again, and then another level down. And now they're arriving in this tunnel system where they then ultimately end up at the baggage reclaim. And we have the same thing at the other end of the terminal. So here, this is, however, something I think need to rework a little bit at this end of the terminal, because I think I have made a little bit of a logic area in this area. So this is something we still need to work on, so that this all makes sense. But more or less finished this part of the terminal. Some minor adjustments, as I say, here and there, but the majority of that is done. What I still really want to do at this part of the terminal is fix the pathway here for arriving passengers, and then we have basically this empty room here, which in real life is a food court. So I want to build some restaurants in here. And what I also want to add to this terminal in general is some lounges, because in real life, at the central part of Terminal 2, we have some lounges, and I need to find some space for that, where I can squeeze that in, which might even require another level here as of this building, because obviously level 2 is already rather occupied, and I mean, we have some space left here, but how do we get passengers from, well, behind the security check over there? It's a bit complicated. So I think, yeah, this is still something we need to work out where we can place this. But I would very much like to have it here at the central part of the building, because this is where we have in real life the main lounge areas of the airport. All right, so then next to that, we have an area that we haven't developed at all yet, with 3 gates, or at least, yeah, potentially 3 gates. This is supposed to be the French sector. Now, if you know the airport, you know that Geneva Airport is placed right at the border between Switzerland and France. And there's a lot of legal stuff about that. For example, once upon a time, the airport wanted to extend the runway, but could not do that because they would need to build the extension into French territory. So they had to, they made a swap with France, but they had to swap exactly the same amount of land. Otherwise, Switzerland could legally not remain neutral. So stuff like that, that you otherwise just wouldn't find at airports. And one thing around the airport is also that they have this French sector. It's basically, I mean, it is part of Geneva Airport, but it handles French internal flights, and it can only be reached, I mean, technically only be reached from France. There is even a road going from France to this part of the airport. You can, in real life, also enter this part from the Swiss side, but you then basically pass through customs. So, yeah. I am not sure entirely how I want to handle this at the moment yet, but I just know that I want to build this, and in a way keep this part of the terminal as separate as possible. Which will give us some challenges, because it is a game and it does not understand that logic or what we are trying to achieve here. But yeah, this is something we will be working on, but I think this will probably be one of the last things we will be working on, because it is just so complicated, and how to really manage to do this in a proper way. But next to that again, we have our wide body terminal, and you can see we already have a wide body aircraft coming in It's an Emirates A380. Now, the A380, of course, in real life does not fly to Geneva Airport, but it was the only wide-body offer I had at the time, and I really wanted to have a wide-body for this episode, so I just took it. But I think in the future, I will try to avoid A380s or A380 offers in the flight scheduler, but yeah, for today, we just go with it. Yeah, the East Wing is, of course, the last part that we have really been working on. So how does that work? Basically, passengers are coming over here. They have passed through security, and then they are going up this escalator here, because they need to pass over what will become the French sector terminal. Then they have reached here level 2, from where they then can pass through here, use the walk-laters if they want to, and then pass through customs or passport control, because of course the East Wing is handling non-Schengen traffic only. So from there they can then again go one level down and arrive at the terminal area. So this is pretty much as in real life, but what is not as in real life is, of course, that we, for example, have some shops here. There doesn't appear to be any shops in real life there. And what we also have, if we go, for example, here we have, again, an escalator. If we go up one level, we can see here we have, well, some lounges, and we do also have a restaurant. We haven't really assigned any of that yet, but we will do that in the coming episodes. So here we already have a few lounges, so that is quite nice. Again, I don't think this exists in real life, but it's just such a huge part of the airport build, and not to have this infrastructure would be challenging with the game itself, because passengers would be a little bit unhappy. But we see right now that the A380 is being boarded. So that seems to actually, this is also the very first aircraft actually that is coming into this part of the airport. And so far it seems to be going well. Of course, we are making it easy for ourselves because the only service we're offering is fueling. And yeah, no luggage or anything else at the moment, but this will of course come very, very soon. So that is the East Wing. Alright, so that is what we have constructed so far, but what is still missing? Because obviously we have already done quite a bit, but yeah. So we talked about Terminal 2, the areas that I still want to do, some lounges, the food court and so on, and improve on a few things here and there. We still very much need to work on Terminal 1 because we haven't done that at all so far. Then of course we also need to start operating the areas that we have already built, so the satellite terminals need to be taken online very, very soon. And then we also have, of course, some remote stands in real life, and we have some space left here, which I want to use for remote stands. We might be able to squeeze in a few things over here as well, but I think it will be a little bit weird with the runway, but we will have to see how we can do that. Maybe we can work out something. But anyways, we have this area, and I want to add some remote stands here. In real life, I think most remote stands would be served from some gates actually at this end of the airport, but we don't really have much space left, so we might need to be a little bit creative. One thing that we perhaps could do, but again, this might also end up being a bit complicated. I mean, we have a lot of space left here at the East Wing on ground floor level, but I would again need to work out how I get passengers over here, because this would then not be international. And again, yeah. So as you can see, the most challenging thing about this build is, of course, the space. And we could have avoided all of that, of course, because we could just have made it easier for ourselves. But this is also really the main challenge in real life with Geneva Airport, and so we have actually built these things just like this, very much on purpose, to give us this challenge of how to figure out these things without really having much space to work with. Yeah, but this is basically where we are so far. Let's take a quick look at some of the aircraft. We have a nice Fleur 737, even coming from Sweden, not entirely unrealistic. I mean, I think more realistic would have been Norway, but yeah, routes in this game is still a mess. Realistic routing does not exist, unfortunately. We have an EasyJet here from Bergamo. That actually is not entirely unrealistic, I would say. We have the Edelweiss A320 here. It's come from Tenerife. That's actually surprisingly realistic as well. Even though I don't think Edelweiss is actually flying from Geneva. I think they only fly from Zurich, but it is a Swiss airline, and I decided to go with it also because you had requested it, so I thought it would be a good idea to sign it. Then we have KLM here, if I can select it. KLM City Hopper from Riga. Again, a little bit more unrealistic routing, but sure, why not? Then we have the Swiss airline CH Air or Chair. Where did you come from? From some obscure place in Spain. I hope this is... I have never heard about this airport, but Spain? Yeah, why not? Some charter traffic, perhaps. Welling. Let's see where you came from. You came from Warsaw. I mean, okay. I mean, it's a low cost, so theoretically they could do that. We have another Edelweiss going out. Where are you leaving to? You are leaving to Paris Orly. Yeah, okay, why not? Why not? Yeah, so we already have a bit of traffic coming in. We have a TUI here. You've come in from Ibiza, so yeah, okay. And of course, then we have the A380, which is being pushed right now. All right. So, yeah, this is pretty much where we are at the moment with the airport. Still a lot of things to be done. Still a lot of things to be worked out. And yeah, quite a few challenges. As always, if you have any feedback, then it is very much welcomed in the comment section below. And of course, as well, if you have any suggestions for airlines that we should be signing, then do feel free to let me know as well in the comment section below. I can already say, which is a good thing. Let's just quickly look here at the offers that we are getting in for airlines. Because last time we were a 3-star airline and now we are already a 4-star airline. So we are getting closer to this 5-star rating, which means we will have even more offers coming in. So yeah, just keep your suggestions coming, and if they are just halfway realistic, there's a good chance that we will be signing them. And yeah, with that, I think it is time to end today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it and now have a better understanding of how the airport has developed until now. And with that, I would like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.